Awesome, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of It Is What It Is podcast. I'm your host, Cody Kelly. I'm so excited about this episode. Look, first of all, connect with me everywhere. YouTube, at CVMK, Instagram at CVMK. I almost forgot my handle. 33, Twitter at Cody's Life 1. I'm just excited. I'm excited about this episode. I have an amazing gift, amazing talent. I think my banner is below. You can connect with me there. But look, I have the artist KC Wimbley. KC, how you doing?
I feel good, bro. How you doing, man?
Man, I'm just, trying to slow down the aging process. That's all.
Look, I'm talking about this going fast, ain't it? I'm 27, bro. I was just 23 like a year ago. I promise.
Bro, we can't slow it down. No more being 16 backwards, trips to Joliet. Those days are over. So, hey, look, I'm excited. You put out a new album.
Right.
I've liked it. I've listened to it. I want to share with my audience, give them a sneak peek of what this album sounds like, and we'll just break down the album. How's that sound?
That sounds good to me, man.
Awesome. You do this.
To anybody that just moved there, if you hearing this is just me talking from experience. But back to my story, I'm hoping God get the glory. I'm taking shots, but they seldomly hitting like Robert Horry. But after 6 months, I decided to leave. Came back to Chicago, but shit, I still believed. And the time I spent at ATL was what I still cherish. Didn't want nobody to know I was back home. I was embarrassed. Ain't nobody hiring. Shit, I can't find a job. I had $2 to my name, man. This ain't a facade. Was thinking about grabbing my gun. Somebody getting robbed, but man, that ain't really me, so I stopped and gave it to God. Like a half a year passed, I got a call from Gary. I vented to my dog, and when I was done, that shit was very uplifting to hear. Shit, that my boy was doing good. He told me I could come down and bum on his couch, and I'm good. We studied the knowledge, wrapped his car with knowledge. We were roommates back in college, so he knew I was.
Awesome. Look, I like that song. I think it speaks to us. If you have ever tried to build something or do something more than what's expected of you, you will hit absolute rock bottom, right? And that song to me is what Break Every Chain is to some other people, right? Like I was listening to it, I was like, I know what it's like. And at that time, I needed a Gary's Couch as well, right? So break down, what is this album? What was the inspiration behind it?
So the inspiration behind this album was, since I started like chasing this journey, I realized that like I've been seeing like basically you can't grow until you're uncomfortable, right? So in the last 2 years since I've been really chasing music, I've been putting myself in uncomfortable situations, and a lot of things that I thought that Kevin would have folded under, KC didn't fold under it. So I kind of really felt myself like showing that there's multiple sides to me, and I've been figuring it out over the last 2 years. So this was basically to show the difference between the person I am now, but because of the things that I went through compared to the guy that Kevin that everybody always know, the goofy, the Lewis little brother, grew up on the west side, the different person that I am now compared to them. So that was the motivation behind it. But on this project, I really told a lot of stories that kind of turned me into this way or changed me in the perspective, I guess is what I was shooting for.
So talk about that evolution. I know for me, so like I think, growing up, people have this understanding of what they think that you are, right? Or who they think that you are. Right. And it's like you always have to fight for validation because like there's two of you simultaneously in this one body, and you really need both, right? I would say for myself, there is, Cody, whatever that means, Bishop Marshall's grandson, but then there is like Cody Kelly, right? And that's the most authentic, most rawest, purest form of myself. Talk to us about that natural just evolution.
Yeah, so a lot of times the type of person like the Cody that I know you as, obviously me and you were on a more personal level, but that's because you were really close to my brother. You know what I'm saying? Right. So my brother might know you on the raw level. I don't know you on that raw level. And can you imagine the people who you're not close with, the people who only see you in the state, the people who only see you on Facebook, you're a certain way. But to the people who really, really know you, they watched you grow. And it's the same thing with me. Like, I know I'm a different person, you know what I'm saying, than I was 3 years ago. So I knew the evolution was coming. We all elevate, we all grow, you know what I'm saying? But I just knew it was a different type of person. I would say around 2018, I knew I wasn't the same type of person. And since then, I've seen myself grow even more. So
the only obligation is to tell it straight, right? In the words of Drake. Right?
Yeah. It's like it's no reason to even sugarcoat it. This is who I am. You know what I'm saying? I am who I am. You know what I mean? People gonna feel how they feel. and just continue to be you, be authentic, be genuine to people. But I mean, this is just who I am. So that's what the whole project was. That was the foundation of the project.
Gotcha.
What it was based around.
Is there like conflict? You know, knowing, like you said, everybody kind of knew you as Lewis's little brother. You know, Lewis is one of my oldest friends. I think Lewis has evolved into where, you know, his trajectory, like this is who Lewis has always been. He's just evolved to this great man of faith, but that's always been Lewis, right? And I think for some of us, it's like, you know, that was an aspect more than a specific calling, right?
Right.
So like, is there conflict with that? Like, do you get around and can you be like, man, Lou, you know, here's my latest joint, Gary's Couch. And Lou, man, I love Gary's Couch. You know, like, what is that like?
Yeah, so I talked about it on I'm Just Vincent. That's the song that I can say that I like talked about it the most, went the deepest into my life. I feel like for me, it was just more so of there is conflict. Like I'm not gonna say I can't, but since I'm I'm one of those people, like I've seen some people that we grew up with go super, super, super far left and they don't care, they don't have no respect. That's not me. People might think I don't got no respect. I still do have respect for like the people I grew up with and saints and church because I still believe that. Right. You know what I'm saying? So it's like when I go home, I feel like KC always got to be in like a shell. I don't have to be, but I choose to be out of respect. Yeah. Because if I don't, then it's just going to be like the bucking of the heads against everybody who I came to see. But like, I don't really even honestly see my family like that. Like I'm starting to get back into seeing them more, but you know, I don't even live in Springfield no more. I'm in Indianapolis now. So like when my family, I mean, Lewis hit me up, like Lewis gave my tape a shout out. And the first tape he did too, which was kind of like caught me off guard. Right. So I don't know if he really listened or not. You know what I'm saying? But I remember one time I came home and he was playing Go For It. But Go For It is the song. That was my first song I ever recorded.
I remember Go For It.
Yeah, that's a song that a lot of church people love. And it's also the only song that I was holding back on that song because I really wasn't like cursing or doing the things like that I would do in the rest of my music. But I heard him listening to that song, but he gave my new project a shout out too. So I don't know if they actually listen because a shout out don't mean you actually listen.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Putting flame emojis and not listening. Right.
But I get that. I mean, you just never know. Like
that's true.
There's been some people say I streamed your album. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not the type of person that's gonna be like, well, what's your favorite song? You know what I'm saying? Like if you streamed it and you liked it, that's good. If you didn't, then that's okay too.
I check the analytics when people are like, yo, I'm watching. I'm like, well, looking at the views, like, did you watch it like after? You know, I got it checked. I'm a validate. Right. I'm like, don't tell me you watched it. I didn't see it. Right. No, but I totally understand. Like, even for myself, you know, I think everybody kind of wants me to like, you know, and I'm not saying be papa, you know, but I mean like I am, yes, that's a part of who I am, but it's not like the full measure, right? You know, like two different cats, you know, he was him, great, you know, me, you know, I'm more into, you know, just kind of doing what God has given me to do. I think that the problem is, I think we put a limit on how God gifts us.
Well, yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Right. So like if you grew up kind of like us, it was like you can only be used by God if you use these certain gifts or have these certain gifts. But the reality is like, no, I have these gifts and this is also a God-given ability as well.
Gifts and callings come without repentance. God give us gifts depending on if we want to use it in, I would guess what people will say for his glory or not, but that's another subject because I feel like a lot of things that you do outside of church, the way we grew up, they would think it's a sin, but it could be for his glory. Like I feel like even somebody like I heard somebody's like, you know, I don't know if you're in tune with what Nipsey was doing. Yeah. Before he died, and they was like, how do you know he wasn't a Christian? And it's like I sat there and thought, like, man, the only reason you would feel that way is because of the way, I guess you could tell the tree by the fruit it bear. That's how they taught us growing up. But I just kind of feel like just because you do certain things, like you just said, you don't think that smoking is a sin. A lot of people that we grew up with will disagree with that. Right. Well, really the brain, the way you think. But I mean, I feel like it could be somebody like Nipsey reached the world. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. He reached the world way deeper than a lot of pastors do. So as fast as he did, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like, I don't know, like I feel like gifts and callings coming out of repentance. I know that what I'm doing is a gift from God. You know what I'm saying? Whether I use it the way church people feel like I should or not, that's a personal opinion.
Let's talk about that kind of transition. So you posted a stat, obviously I follow you on IG, right? How many views? I think like one of your songs hit like 40K. You was like, yo, I just want to give a shout out, thank you guys for supporting me, right?
Right.
Like, how do you build that empire, that brand? Like, right now, I think everybody is trying to build their brand in some aspect, right? But you have been at this, I would say, at least consistently since 2016, 2017. This is now the second project, right? I'm talking about a full, project, not like 4 songs, right? Like this is a full weighted album. How do you consistently build, especially in this climate?
Right. So I feel like, it's kind of like, I don't even really feel like, other artists might disagree with this, but my approach is this. I don't really check to see how to build. I just keep being authentic. I feel like when you just keep being authentic and you try to make the music as quality as possible, that's going to automatically make it build. Joe Budden said something that a lot of people disagreed on. He was like, talent doesn't beg for attention. He said that, and that always stuck with me. Like I see a lot of people, and nothing's wrong with this. They'll post music and it'll get, they'll tag 90 people or they'll tag 100 people, and it's like,
I see it.
I would never do that, just because me personally, I want you to be here because you want to be here.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't care about and there's another thing. It's a difference between views and repeated streams. So like even somebody like Tekashi 6ix9ine, do you know him?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he does a lot of antics. He posts a video on YouTube, it might get 300 million views. It's just because we want to see what he does next. But then he just dropped a project and it did way, way lower than what they projected, like over 100K lower. And that just goes to prove my point exactly. I want people to be here not because of some antics or because I'm doing something stupid. Like I want people to hear the music and repeatedly stream it. Like I don't care about you hearing it once. I want you to hear it, download it in your phone, and when you're driving in your car, if it come on, keep playing it. You know what I'm saying? And that's what streaming has given us allowed us to do. But for me, I just keep living my life, keep being authentic, and keep putting out the music as quality as possible. And I feel like that's what has helped me build within the last 2 years. Because at first, I was just learning the game, and I was putting music videos out there. This one getting 10,000, this one getting 8,000, this one getting what I'm saying? I'm like, okay, how do I build from this? You know what I'm saying? And there's even more stuff I got to do. Like for me, I don't promote my YouTube enough. Like I be forgetting that I even got a YouTube channel because I haven't posted on there. When I send my music out, the company created my new YouTube page.
Oh, wow.
I put my music through there. So I didn't do any of that. You know what I mean? So when people are like, are you on YouTube? I got to remember, So that's my next project, to build my YouTube, because I'm getting 10, 15,000 views, but I need to get them on my YouTube channel. That's where I feel like they should be, because when people go check it out, they're not going to go to your Twitter, Facebook. They're going to go to YouTube.
And YouTube pays, unlike Facebook. I don't know what that is about, but
I have no clue either. So
how do you differentiate yourself in this market? So, you can't tour. At least you can't tour in person, right? You can do virtual stuff. I've seen artists. I've seen the versus battle. That'd be cool to do kind of like a local versus. I don't know if you get sued for trademark, but like I know there's an obstacle. Everybody's now is trying to figure out how to pivot, right? With COVID and everything. How have you pivoted in this climate?
Right. So a lot of mine is different. My approach is different. My approach is like, I feel like Chance the Rapper had the best approach to music.
Okay.
So, some people will make a product and then they'll go outside of Walmart and say, hey, buy my product just before streams. Buy my tape for $10. Telling everybody walking out of Walmart, buy my tape for $10. How can you expect somebody to spend their money for something they don't believe in yet? You know what I'm saying? So Chance's approach was everything is free. Everything is free. And then once I got their ear, then I'll start charging. So for me, pivoting, a lot of things, I don't get to do shows in person, but a lot of my music videos and streams that I'm still putting out, a lot of artists survive off of like tours and merchandise, tours and streams and merch. So a lot of times, a lot of artists now are focusing more on the streams and merch rather than the in-person money, but the in-person money is always going to outweigh that. So for me, how I've pivoted is a lot of things that I were doing beforehand were through the internet rather than in person anyway. So it wasn't hard for me to adjust. Well, the only thing that I've adjusted in is not doing in-person shows. But I got a merch line coming out in November too. So
I was just about to ask you that. I was like, what about merch? It's like, is that about to drop?
Yeah, so I'll make the announcement here, but on my birthday, which is I was still working on it, but I'm gonna drop my website, which has my merch in it, and I'm gonna drop the deluxe version to the album. So yeah, I got a couple more songs coming too. So
what's coming? I like the bipolar freestyle. Keep the same energy. That's just a banger. But talk to us about those up and coming songs. What's going on with New Deluxe?
So if you heard my first project, you kind of realized that my first project was more up tempo, like it was more like aggressive, and that was just to like let people know, okay, I'm here, I'm coming. Like this is something I'm really finna do. This project was more of I tried to put a couple of them on there for that crowd of people, but most of the songs on here, like I May Never Thrive, songs like Gary's Couch, songs like I'm Just Vincent, Fantasizing, all of those songs, I tried to, it's more so of a let me sit down and talk to you type of project. But the songs that's on the upcoming, I have more songs, like more bangers rather than let me vent to you type of songs or let me tell you something about my life. So it's going to be about 5 to 7 new tracks, because me, I cut stuff at the end if I don't feel like this project was supposed to be 15 songs.
Oh, wow.
And I cut 4 of them the week before I sent it off.
Oh, wow.
So I'm going to use those songs for the deluxe unless I want to create some more. So, but yeah, these upcoming songs is more, like I said, this whole project is about me, but these upcoming songs are more bangers, but I'm getting a little more deeper into my life in one of the tracks. So I'm excited to share it too. So November 24th is my birthday, and that's when it'll be out.
Awesome. Is there pressure to, transform or not be your authentic self? I posed the question to Willie and China Sade, to Geronimo, right? I said, look, if Sony comes to you, Kevin, and was like, look, $1 million, I need you to make a song called Left Cheek, Right Cheek, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, are you going to drop the Left Cheek, Right Cheek follow up? Like, that's a lot of money. Is there pressure to conform?
Well, the question that you asked, if they ask me that, yes, Left Cheek, Right Cheek will be coming out for $1 million. Would I sign my rights away? No. Right. So I would take that money and put it into my own personal label. But I feel like, there is pressure because, it's every 3 to 5 years, music changes. So are you going to do what's hot, or are you going to, there's always the artists that go against the wave who are themselves. That's the type of artist I want to be. I always want to be an artist that, like, no matter what's going on, when I drop, people to listen, like Kendrick or like a J. Cole or like a Drake. He's going to, when they drop, it doesn't matter what's going on, people are going to listen. They have their own style. And for me, I always pride myself on sounding different than what's going on, but there is pressure to do certain stuff like that. But I feel like I could do anything and just make it my own. But I never want to look at the next person like, oh, let me do that, or let me do that, or let me do that. I just got to talk from my heart. And a lot of times with artists, that's the toughest thing, because it might sell or it might not. And, I've dropped 2 albums that thankfully people have loved, but there's going to come a time where I drop a tape that people might not love so much. And I got to hold that L the same way I'm holding the W right now.
Works.
You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing. So, but that's just me.
Okay.
You ask a lot of other artists, they're going to do whatever sells because they in it for money. I'm in it for money too, but it's like 50-50, passion and money. Like, I still care about the music too.
That's good. I understand. I think anytime you do anything, obviously you have to get some ROI, right? So sometimes there is pressure. There is added pressure to acquiesce to elements you never, necessarily wouldn't want to, because you have to pay bills at the end of the day, right? So I totally get that. What do you say about the future of hip hop music? Right now, I think there's a race or a rush to get back to normal, right? And obviously there's some success with that if you kind of look at WAP and how it's performing. But at the same time, it almost seems disingenuous with everything that's going on, right? And it's not a put down or a shout out. It's just like, is it more of a distraction? Is it just like, hey, look, we can still have fun too? What do you say? Like, when you're in the booth, you're recording, you talk about the 2 songs that are coming up. Do you always have to address the sign of the times?
No. I personally don't think so. There's some artists who do, and I think that you would be more impactful that way. But it's a lot of artists who don't. Music is weird. Can you hear the background?
Yeah, you're good, though. You're good.
Okay, I could go in this room real quick.
No, you're good. You're good.
Yeah. So I feel like music. It depends on the type of artist. Like I don't expect somebody like Waka Flocka to come out with a song like Kendrick.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Kendrick is always going to address the times, but I think that's why he's so great. But there's a lot of artists who hear, like you got a million moods that you could be in. So there's a million different type of artists to satisfy that mood. So it just depends. I don't think the artists have to do that though. And I wouldn't expect nothing like that from Megan or Cardi B anyway. Like they're more so for the turn up, and they're both amazing artists to me. I love both of them. You know what I'm saying? Right. But the music that they make is not conscious music. You know what I'm saying? They talking about their life. And a lot of times, because I used to think that Megan was going to come from a different perspective because she's in college and, I thought she was going to talk about more than just twerking and having sex and stuff like that.
Right.
Which we haven't dived into that yet, but I'm sure she will. But I feel like it's a whole different angle that she can come from. But as far as the music that they make, I just think people make whatever's on their heart. And a lot of people are going to do what sells rather than what's really on their heart. And a lot of times people don't even know this. When you sign to a label, they tell you what to make. So a lot of these songs you hear coming out is not because that artist want to make that song. It's because they're owned by a label that's telling them to make that song because the label's looking at the trajectory of the world and saying this will go right now. And most times they're right. How can you be wrong when you put millions of dollars behind a song to make it go?
That's true. If your boss says, wear gold, you're gonna wear gold.
Right. Hey, maybe I'll put Megan on it. We're gonna push it with $2 million. It's gonna do 100 million views. We're gonna make 20 million off of it. We're gonna give you your 4 million. So you just doubled your money, tripled your money.
Right.
And it's not nothing that we wouldn't expect from them too anyway. So it's like, I think if it works, it works. Me, I'm more impressed with labels like Dreamville or TDE because it's like you could tell that like they're for the culture, but they also still care about the music. Like I was having an argument with one of my friends. He was like, McDonald's or Wendy's? And I was like, I'm going to go with Wendy's because the food is just more quality. And he was just like, no, if I'm a label, billion served McDonald's. And I'm like, I get it. It's more than one object. Like I think that if you own a label, it's scary if you only care about money because that means you'll do anything. You'll put anything into the world to do it. And you know that there are billions of kids looking up to these people that you sign. So I feel like when you're a label owner, you got to care about the music and the money. And you might not make as much money, but I'd rather be happy knowing that I made 75 million and I put music out that changed the world than 200 million and all I did was damage kids' brains at the end of the day.
Well
that's
said.
my personal opinion.
Well said. I got a couple more questions for you that I'm gonna let you go.
Okay.
What's the next goal? You talked about the next steps in the process, right? But if you could sit there and say, look, I want to achieve a Grammy by my 30th, or I want to sell 1 million copies, I want to have 1 million streams by the end of 2021 on this album. Right. What is that next goal? Because everybody has a goal in mind. What's that next goal?
Right. So you actually I don't necessarily always say Grammy because that's kind of like if I'm reaching people, I'm reaching people. To have a Grammy would obviously be nice, but for me, my next goal is to get a major feature, so like an A-list artist on one of my songs, and then I do want 1 million streams, and I set it by my own personal timeline. But for me, building my YouTube, getting a major feature, and just being more visible because it's people still sharing the music. I had a cool thing happen to me the other day. I went to get my hair cut about a week and a half ago. And I was down here in Indy. Granted, I got a good support system here in Indy, but I went to get my haircut by the barber, and he was looking at me weird. He told me he was an artist, and I told him I was too, and I told him my name. His wife had sent him my project the day before. He heard my project the day before he cut my hair. I had never met the guy. Wow. So that was something like, even though it was granted still Indianapolis and people here, but I feel like that's cool. Like that just let me know that like it's traveling, it's reaching people. You know what I'm saying? But my next goal is to get a major feature, and I do want 1 million streams on my music by a certain time. But yeah, that's the next goal, and to build my YouTube. So I'm always juggling multiple things, but I feel like once I start selling merch, if the people that streaming my music are also going to be the ones that's going to buy it, I can start spending that money and being more rapid with the things that I do because I would just make that money and put it back into the label, not pocket it. That's just me personally, though. But those are my next 3 goals.
Awesome. I love it. Look, I've been a fan of yours. I like your music. I like it. And, I'm brutally honest with my opinion, right?
Yeah,
really, really enjoyed. I bought the album, right? Like I said, I got it.
There's a group of y'all that always buy, and I appreciate it. Alex is one of them too. He's a dope rapper too.
Oh yeah. I heard, and this is just a rumor, because I know Geronimo, I'm sure is listening. He hit me up. He said, "I'm trying to get with Kevin to do something." Is that in the works?
Yeah. So the funny thing about me and Willie is, our schedules never pan out for each other. Because when I really wanted to do something with him, he was really, really busy. He was actually around this time last year before I went to Springfield.
Yeah,
he was the one trying to help me get a job because for 6 months I couldn't work. So I was trying to do anything. Orange Theory, I was working out with him. Me and Willie definitely gonna get a track in together. There's a lot of people who I've been supposed to have been doing music with for the last 4 years, and we're just this year getting the song together because a lot of people got a lot of stuff going on. You know what I'm saying? But me and Willie will definitely have a track together coming soon. That's my dog. I mess with his sound. He's good. He's a good artist. He could sing. You know what I'm saying? And he actually sent me a track. We worked on the track last year, but we never finished it. So we're going to have to do another one because that's still in my phone in my email from January 2019. But we got to do another one. We're going to do another one.
Finish it and send it to me so I can leak it.
And then Willie's he's so dangerous because he know how to do more than just sing.
Right.
He could engineer. He could artist, man. He could do more than just sing.
Yeah.
That makes him way more of a weapon. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the easiest way to get put on. You know what I'm saying? If people need engineering, okay, hey, find you a videographer. Hey, I'll engineer for you for free. You shoot my videos for free. Now we each could put out our content at our own rapid pace, and we ain't got to pay nobody. That's the biggest thing, cutting out the middleman, because there's 3 ways to make it. You can either have $1 million investor, family members, or it could be a label.
Right.
You could sell drugs, which a lot of people do. Right. To get the money, because people don't even understand. It took me $3,000 to make that project.
Wow.
$3,000 just for people to stream it and be like, oh, okay, this is good, this isn't this. You know what I'm saying? 8 months, well, really a year and a half. I was thinking about it, but really working on it about 8 months and $3,000 just for like people to be like, hey, I like this. The beats are the most thing. Like when you buy the exclusive rights to beats, it's always between, depending on who you're getting it from, but all of my beats are between like $200 and $500 per beat. Because I own exclusive rights to them. I'm not leasing them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I leased 1 beat on there. And now I'm mad that I leased it because some other stuff going on. Because when you lease a beat, they can lease it to 1 million people. They just get their money off of it. You know what I'm saying? That's why I always buy exclusive rights. But my one that I leased is from an artist, a rapper. He's a producer, and I done heard a couple of other people, bigger people on the song with that beat. So it was like, that's why I always buy exclusive rights. You don't know what song is going to blow up.
Right.
I don't want to get sued. You know what I mean? But yeah.
That's it. Look, buy your beats straight out. I can't wait. I'm looking for that collab with you and Willie. He's got his artist, China Sade. Y'all should do something real soon. Where can the people find you, man? What do you do? I know you already listed what you're doing. Where can they find you? Where can they connect with you? Where can they stream your music?
Everything KC_Wimbley. So Facebook, we don't do underscore, so it's just a space. So KC space and then last name Wimbley. If you type in KC space Wimbley on any music platform, you'll find my music. First project, No More Talking. Second project, Kevin versus KC. And if you want to find me on Twitter or Instagram, it's KC_Wimbley. But everything is KC Wimbley, though, everywhere. So, yeah, connect with me.
Awesome. Look, connect with my man. He is blowing up. I'm excited. Thank you again for being on our show. Look, next week is going to be an amazing episode again. I have the First Lady edition. I have First Lady Evans, First Lady Fierce, First Lady Davita Richardson Williams, First Lady CC Bell. I'm trying to get some more. Kevin, talk to your sister-in-law. Shanae hasn't said anything. And she's on here. That'd be nice. Play something, fellas. I did, Prince. I played it at the beginning. I'll see you later. Hey, but look, I appreciate you. I thank you so much. Until next time, guys.
All right, peace.